Did you know that the plants in your garden can either work together, protecting each other from diseases, or wage a veritable biological war? Many gardeners complain about pests for years, unaware that the solution lies in the right planting partners. Today, I'll reveal a forgotten planting scheme that will transform your garden into a self-regulating system. We'll explore 15 pairs of vegetables and herbs that, when planted together, not only grow faster, but also become invisible to pests. Forget about sprayers. Today, the plants themselves will act as protectors. Let's get started. Many gardeners are accustomed to planting vegetables in neat, boring, single-bed rows. Only carrots here, only onions there. But you'll never encounter such sterility in nature. Plants have learned to survive together for centuries, creating true coalitions against enemies. And today, we'll start with the golden fund of gardening partners. Three pairs that every plot must have. Pair number one, carrots and onions. Biological shield. This is an absolute classic, something our grandmothers knew. These vegetables have two sworn enemies, carrot flies and onion flies. These insects rely solely on smell. When a fly is drawn to the aroma of juicy carrots, it encounters the onion's harsh phytocidal barrier and literally loses its bearings. It simply doesn't understand where the food is. And the onion fly, for its part, hates the distinctive aroma of carrot tops. By planting them in rows or staggered, you create an invisible electronic shield that saves you liters of insecticide. Plus, their root depths differ, so they don't steal nutrients from each other. Pair number two, tomatoes and basil. Gourmets in the garden. If you want your tomatoes to be not just red, but truly sweet and aromatic, plant basil at their feet. Scientists have proven that basil's essential oils have a beneficial effect on tomato metabolism, improving their flavor even during the ripening stage. But it's not just a matter of taste. Basil is a powerful repellent. Its rich, spicy scent repels aphids, spider mites, and most importantly, hornworms, a dangerous pest of nightshades. In response, tomatoes create the perfect light shade for the delicate basil, protecting its leaves from sunburn. It's a perfect symbiosis, which goes straight into the salad bowl after harvest. Pair number three, cucumbers and dill. Prolonging youth. Have you noticed that cucumbers often begin to turn yellow and dry out, just as they're in the midst of fruiting? Common dill, sown between cucumber vines, works like a veritable elixir of longevity. Dill's umbel-shaped inflorescences attract beneficial entomophagous insects, lacewings, and ladybugs to the garden bed. They're your free special forces, destroying aphids and pest larvae faster than you even notice a problem. Moreover, dill shades the soil slightly, retaining moisture, which cucumbers love. Together, they create a forest-edge microclimate where cucumbers produce fruit until frost. These three pairs are just the foundation. We've only just begun to build a defense system for your garden. Ahead, we have hidden defenders who will save your cabbage and potatoes. If the first three pairs were about mutual benefit, the next group are true bodyguards. We're used to the idea that flowers belong in flower beds and herbs in a herb garden. It's time to break those stereotypes. Pair number four, cabbage and marigolds, top-notch camouflage. White cabbage is a major magnet for the cabbage butterfly. Once it lands on a leaf and lays its eggs, within a week all that's left of your cabbage is a skeleton of veins. But the cabbage butterfly has a weak spot. It seeks out targets by scent and visual silhouette. Marigolds or tagetes have such a powerful and distinctive aroma that it literally blinds the butterfly. Moreover, marigold roots release special substances called theophanies into the soil, which inhibit the development of nematodes and repel mole crickets. Bright orange flowers among green heads of cabbage aren't just aesthetics, they're high-tech camouflage. Pair number five, potatoes and cilantro, a psychological attack on the beetle. The Colorado potato beetle is the most stubborn pest, but even its appetite can be discouraged. Try sowing cilantro between potato rows. Its sharp, specific aroma, which many people dislike, is a danger signal or simply an unpleasant background for the Colorado potato beetle, where the smell of potato tops becomes undetectable. Coriander also attracts predatory bugs and hoverflies, which happily dine on beetle larvae. As a bonus, you'll get clean potatoes and an excellent seasoning for meat. Pair number 6, strawberries and garlic, a phytocidal barrier. Strawberries or garden strawberries are delicate crops. Not only we adore them, but also gray mold and weevils. Garlic is a natural antibiotic. Its phytoncides are so strong that they inhibit the growth of fungal spores within a 30-centimeter radius. By planting garlic directly in the strawberry hole or between the bushes, you create a sterile zone. Weevils, which dream of gnawing at the flower stalks, fly away from such garlic plantations, and the strawberries themselves grow healthier and larger in such proximity since they don't waste energy fighting pathogens. Pair number 7, zucchini and nasturtium, sacrificial altar. Nasturtium is an amazing flower. In the garden hierarchy, it often acts as a trap plant. Aphids simply adore nasturtium, preferring it to the tender shoots of zucchini or pumpkin. By planting nasturtium around the perimeter of a zucchini bed, you knowingly expose it to attack. Aphids congregate on the flowers, leaving your harvest alone. All you have to do is periodically remove heavily infested nasturtium leaves. Furthermore, nasturtium repels flea beetles and edible bugs, which often damage zucchini ovaries. And don't forget, nasturtium flowers are edible and will make a gorgeous decoration for your summer dishes. Using these pairs takes gardening to a new level. You're no longer fighting nature. You're harnessing its power for your own benefit. But that's not all. In the next part, we'll go higher and delve deeper. Let's explore aerial and underground alliances, where plants support each other not only with scent, but also with their very form. When discussing plant neighborhoods, it's important to consider not only what's happening above ground, but also what's hidden underground. Plants can share food, water, and even provide physical support. In this section, we'll explore partnerships that work like a single, well-oiled machine. Pair number 8, eggplants and bush beans. Nitrogen plant. Eggplant is a real glutton among vegetables. It requires a colossal amount of nutrition to grow heavy fruit. Beans, on the other hand, have a unique superpower. Their roots are home to special nodule bacteria that draw nitrogen directly from the air and fix it in the soil. By planting beans next to eggplants, you provide them with a free and constant supply of nitrogen. But that's not all. Dense bean bushes create a barrier to the Colorado potato beetle, which loves eggplants even more than potatoes. In this combination, the eggplants get food and the beans get protection. Pair number 9, lettuce and radishes, juiciness and shade. Radishes are a fast-growing crop, but very capricious. If the sun gets even hotter, the root becomes bitter, woody, and bolts. Large spreading lettuce leaves act like a living umbrella. They shade the tender radishes, keeping the soil cool and moist, even on hot afternoons. In such cool conditions, the radishes grow juicy and tender. Moreover, the dense lettuce foliage prevents the cruciferous blight, the main enemy of radishes, from easily moving around the bed. You get 2 harvests from one area, which complement each other perfectly. Pair number 10, corn and peas, skyscraper or Anna. This is a variation of the famous ancient Three Sisters pattern. Corn is a mighty living column reaching high into the sky. It's the perfect support for peas. Peas don't have to waste energy searching for support. They simply twine around the cornstalk, rising toward the sun. In gratitude for the lift, peas, like any legume, enrich the soil with nitrogen, which corn vitally needs to form heavy ears. Furthermore, the intertwining of stalks creates a complex maze, making it much more difficult for pests to find their target. Pair number 11, peppers and oregano. Oregano, living mulch. Sweet peppers are a southern favorite. They love warmth but hate it when their feet overheat in the sun and the soil cracks from dryness. Oregano, as it grows, forms a dense green carpet at the base of the pepper. This living mulch retains moisture in the soil and prevents weeds from growing. But the biggest bonus is the oregano essential oils. Their powerful spicy aroma envelops pepper bushes, confuses aphids and other flying pests. In this environment, peppers feel right at home in the subtropics, delighting you with a bountiful harvest without unnecessary fuss. These 4 pairs prove that a garden isn't a battle for survival, but a complex ecosystem where each plant occupies its own layer. We've already covered 11 pairs, but the most interesting part is yet to come. rare and almost forgotten combinations used by experienced organic gardeners. In the next part, we'll learn how sunflowers help pumpkins and why mustard is a grape's best friend. We've reached the end of our list. If the previous pairs were the foundation, these four alliances are truly the pinnacle of garden planning. These combinations solve specific problems that gardeners face in their plots year after year. Pair number 12, pumpkin and sunflower. Protection from the heat. Pumpkin is a vigorous plant, but its giant leaves evaporate colossal amounts of moisture. On hot July days, you've probably seen pumpkin vines droop sadly, even if the soil is moist. Tall sunflower stalks planted on the south side of a pumpkin patch act as natural blinds. They create a lacy penumbra that moderates temperature spikes while still allowing enough light for photosynthesis. Furthermore, the sunflower's powerful root system loosens the soil at depths that pumpkin roots simply can't reach, improving water exchange throughout the bed. Pair number 13, beets and celery, mutual stimulation. This is a union at the level of chemistry and root secretions. Celery releases specific enzymes into the soil that act like a vitamin cocktail for beets. They grow faster and accumulate more anthocyanins, the very nutrients that give them their vibrant color. In return, beets release salts that help celery grow juicy, strong stems. But they also have a protective effect. The pungent smell of celery repels beet flies and flea beetles, which often puncture young beet leaves. This duo ensures your root vegetables will be healthy and perfectly straight. Pair number 14, grapes and mustard, biological shield. If you grow grapes in your garden, you know how difficult it is to combat fungal diseases and soil-borne pathogens. White mustard, sown between the rows of grapes, acts as a living antiseptic. Its roots secrete glycosides that inhibit mold growth and improve the soil around the vine's delicate roots. Mustard is also an excellent green manure. When it grows, it can simply be trimmed and left on the surface. It will become the ideal mulch, protecting the vineyard from drying out and weeds. This is the most environmentally friendly way to keep your vineyard healthy. Pair number 15, tomatoes and calendula. Marigold's invisible front. We have already talked about protecting tomatoes, but this alliance is aimed at combating an enemy that is invisible to the naked eye. Nematodes. These are microscopic worms that live in the soil and literally suck the life out of tomato roots. Calendula is a natural sanitation worker. Its roots secrete substances that are lethal to nematodes. By planting marigolds along the edges of your tomato beds, you create a protective perimeter that will keep out nematodes. Moreover, the bright flowers attract bees and bumblebees to the plot, which will help pollinate your tomatoes if the summer turns out to be cloudy. Now that you know all 15 pairs, your garden will never be the same again. This isn't just a planting scheme, it's a philosophy of living in harmony with nature. But how do you properly arrange all of this in one area so that the plants don't interfere with each other? In the final section, we'll explore the golden rules of planting and learn how to create your ideal planting plan for this season. We've covered 15 powerful combinations that can turn your plot into an impenetrable fortress for pests. But before you rush to the garden bed with packets of seeds, let's systematize this knowledge. Companion planting isn't just a haphazard mixing of plants. It's a strategy that follows 3 golden rules. Rule number 1, layers and light. Always consider the number of layers in your garden. Plants shouldn't compete for the sun. Tall crops, such as corn, sunflowers, and supported tomatoes, should be placed on the north side of the bed, so they don't cast shade on short-growing neighbors, such as lettuce, radishes, and basil. The only exceptions are those cases when we deliberately attract southerners from the scorching heat, as in a couple pumpkin and sunflower. Remember, light is the energy for growth, and there must be enough for each member of the union. Rule number 2, the gluttony factor. Never plant 2 nutritionally heavyweights next to each other, for example, cabbage and pumpkin. Both plants require enormous amounts of nitrogen and moisture. If planted together, they will begin to rob each other, and you will end up with 2 meager harvests instead of 1 rich one. The ideal partner for a gluttonous crop is either legumes, such as peas and beans, which produce nitrogen readily, or herbs with compact root systems that hardly draw nutrients from the deep soil layers. Rule number 3, family ties. Plants from the same family are almost always bad neighbors. Don't plant tomatoes next to potatoes or peppers. They share diseases and common enemies. If a plant pathogen attacks the potatoes, it will immediately spread to the tomatoes. Your task is to break these chains by interplanting plants from other families between related crops, onions, marigolds, or mustard. This is what creates the biological barrier we talked about throughout the video. How do you formulate your plan? Don't try to introduce all 15 pairs at once in the first year. Choose 3 to 4 of the most effective combinations for you. Start with the classics of onions and carrots or tomatoes and basil. Draw a diagram of your garden on paper and mark these friendship zones. You'll see how your garden begins to change. There will be less wasteland, fewer weeds, and best of all, much less work with a sprayer. Organic farming isn't magic. It's understanding biological rhythms. When you help nature, it responds with an oxbow ridge. Tell us in the comments which pairings surprise you the most. Or maybe you have your own tried and true secret combinations that I haven't mentioned. Let's share experiences and grow a healthy harvest together. If these natural alliances have changed the way you look at the balance of your garden, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. We are unearthing the ancient wisdom that modern methods have tried to bury. Let's plant a better future together. The next garden treasure will be revealed soon.